Happy Chinese Lunar New Year, y'all. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another excruciating episode of the Center Beacon. Today we're going to talk about the new update 3.6, the Lunar New Year update. A lot of stuff packed into this update. We're going to briefly go through all of the things that have been added. So I spent a little time with this over the last, I think it's been out on Android for a week or so, maybe a little over a week. I think iOS just got this thing the other day. So we're going to talk about all the various things that have been added, which are numerous. All right, first up, we're going to take a look at supply drops. Supply drops have been a mercy for someone like myself. As many of you know, I'm time poor. Don't have a whole lot of time. Got 5 kids, if you know what I'm saying. Then we're going to go into Hanger X briefly. Pretty cool new feature. Lets you select a hanger that features rotating content. So basically, it's like a test drive type thing of stuff that you don't already have. King of the Hill is the new game mode. Kind of mixed reviews on this one. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. We'll talk about it. I'll actually show you a match of exactly how not to play King of the Hill. So make sure you don't watch that. We also have the Lunar New Year event is underway where you can win some cool prizes. Tanking has taken a spanking. So they've introduced some new penalties and things that are supposedly going to make tanking a lot more difficult to do successfully. A lot of the rest of the stuff on this list we are going to get into more detail in subsequent videos. So stay tuned breathlessly for that. I'm just kidding. Don't hold your breath. You'll probably start to sweat, ruin all that makeup that you spent all that time on. Last and least, something about the iPhone X, or is it 10? I have no idea. I don't speak Apple. I do Android, as y'all know. So something about the iPhone X/10 screen is better, or something. Alright, check out this sexy hanger. Happy Chinese Lunar New Year, y'all. So we got lots of effects. You guys have seen this for Halloween and Christmas. They did up the hanger. Now, a little birdie might have told me that something about hanger customizations might be a thing in the future that we can like select and purchase possibly. Don't tell anybody I told you, but I think that might be a thing coming up in the near future, which personally I'm all for. I think it'd be awesome to customize my hanger. I'm actually a big fan of it. What I'm not a big fan of are all those damn buttons all over the place covering up my robots. So you saw that little chest in the corner. We clicked on it. We're talking about supply drops now. You can see here there are supply drops for every single tier or league that you're in, or whichever part of the league that you're in. You can see there's 3 for each one. So there's like the bronze, like, you know, super noob sauce league. Don't get a whole lot. You work your way up. The higher you go in leagues, the better your supply drop rewards. Now the rewards consist of things like silver, keys, and components. And seriously, at the higher levels, when you're in champion league, the rewards are pretty decent. Basically, you just log in and collect these things every 3 hours, and you make a lot of silver. And the components, like for the Kumiho, I already have one, so I'm not using it. So I'm just selling all of the components that I get for the Kumiho, and it makes you pretty decent amounts of silver. The whole point of this thing is to help players out and encourage them to move up in leagues. So that's an example of getting these things 1 at a time. You can also get them 4 at a time. Every 12 hours, they're going to max out. You can only hold 4 out of 4, and you're going to need to collect it. So that means you need to check into your game twice a day so that you don't just stack these things up and then you're sitting there, you're losing them. Because you can see right there, that's from half a day's work in Champion League. That's over a 500,000 silver, or round about 500,000 silver each and every day. So now let's talk about skins. Oh yeah, skins. Check it out. It's in the new Lunar New Year style decor. It's crimson and gold. I have an evening jacket done in these colors. I love it. It's very comfortable. I like to spend my evenings in it while I smoke my cigars and drink brandy. Here's the Bulgasari. They're all pretty much the same. I'm going to show them to you real quick. They're all pretty much the same. You have some ornamental characters on there, trimming out the crimson base color, kind of highlighted with gold. Pretty cool. Fits with the theme. I don't actually have these yet. I don't know if I'll be getting these. They're a little gaudy for my taste. I was lying about that jacket thing. That's not true at all. Alright, that's going to cover the aesthetics with the skins, with the paint jobs. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about something I think is pretty cool. It's formerly known as Test Drive. Now it's known as Hanger X. So if you go to create a custom game, you can bring this up and see what this is all about. But this is the thing they were calling Test Drive, and it's basically a way for you to get to play with robots and weapons that you don't have. So what I did is I started a custom game here by myself, pathetically. You can see I have a couple hangers there. If you have 5 5, it'll show 5 hangars, however many hangars you have, and then there's that little robot icon. Click on that bad boy, and you get the Hangar X setup. They pick this, they put the robots and weapons in it, and basically it is allowing you to test out stuff that you don't already have. It's supposed to be on a rotating format. Roughly every month or so-ish, they're going to change it, and I believe if you go on their social media, like their Facebook and stuff, you can vote on it or something. But I loaded it up here real quick just to take a look and play with it. This is King of the Hill mode. We're going to take a look at King of the Hill a little bit later on in the video. One of the things that I really like about this is that you can run tournaments with this. So you could have like, hey, we're going to use the Hangar X setup for this tournament, so that way everyone is equal. All the weapons are equal, bots are equal, levels are equal. You could also do it for like 1 versus 1. Like, oh man, you think you're so good, and I'm like, shut up, I'm better than you. Well, then you can prove it 1-on-1 with the exact same hangar. Alright, let's go ahead and move into the How Not to King of the Hill guide. Basically, you're going to learn from my mistakes. I'm going to start off with my Shock Train Bulgasari, doing some camping here. I mean, some supporting. Basically, if you look at that little round circle at the top of the screen, right under the clock, that's what I lovingly refer to as the P-bar. Now, the P-bar has a certain amount of points in it. See that center beacon there? Haha. See what I did? It's all lit up right there. You and your buddies want to get under that thing and capture it. And once you capture it, then the P-bar starts to drain. It has a certain amount of points that you want to get. And the longer you hold it, the more points you get, and the more of your buddies that are helping you hold it, the faster you get those points. Once you have completely drained the P-bar for the active beacon on the map, another beacon will light up, it'll illuminate, it'll tell you you need to go there, and then fight over that one. You fight over one beacon at a time. Basically, what I'm doing in this match is completely ignoring everything I just said. I'm paying no attention whatsoever to beacons, and I'm just looking to smash people. And that's really all I cared about for this game because I didn't know what in the hell I was doing. So King of the Hill can be fun, but it is a little more, I don't want to say complicated. Complicated makes it sound like I'm stupid, which I am stupid to an extent, but not that stupid. So it's not complicated, it's just not as straightforward as the modes that we're used to. Domination, get beacons. Beacon Rush, also get beacons, and then basically just continue to spawn death buttons on top of, you know, the other team that wasn't quick enough to the middle. You know, Team Deathmatch. Destroy all the other robots. Pretty straightforward. This one, it's a little asymmetrical here. You can see the red team has the beacon now, the active one, and they need to sit on it and drain all the points out of it they possibly can. Now, the red team probably doesn't think of the little circle there as the P-bar like I do, but I feel like they should. I feel like they would be better players if they did. So, now the bars at the top, traditionally known as the beacon bars, they're still the beacon bars, and they just show you who has more points in the match. So if red is a little bit beyond what we have, red is currently winning. Their bar is a little bit more full than our bar is. So there's red's got another beacon, and they're draining it. But now a beacon has switched, it's switched over, and we're capturing it. Now we're draining points out of it. So you can get beacon captures in this mode. All you have to do is be the first one to the beacon, and I'm pretty sure it credits you with the actual capture. You can also see that the beacons have additional cover and things. Just like Team Deathmatch, in some of these newer modes, they've added in a bunch of cover and stuff like that, so that way you can actually kind of hold this thing. It's not just out in the middle of, you know, you're not hanging out there in the middle of nothing with no cover. So I'm continuing to camp, support my team with the Shock Train Bulgasari. You can see we're slightly ahead on the beacon bar there. We've got a few more points. So this thing really, like you'll find out at the end of this match, it's really not about damage. Obviously that's good. Destroying robots is good. But if you dump in a ton of damage, you're not necessarily going to be the hero in this mode that you're used to being in basically all the other modes. So you can see red has the beacon down there. They're draining all the points out of it and just trying to keep pace with us. So you kind of have to be ready to switch locations on the map quickly. You can kind of dump bots for this. I'm not really, I'm not the biggest fan of doing that. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I'm still learning this mode myself, but it seems like you could dump a bot And even if you just spawn back at your home beacon, you might be able to help out recovering a beacon, capturing a beacon. I can also see it being handy to have quicker bots in this. I didn't alter my lineup for this at all. I've got a couple of hangars. I basically got like my main hangar, multi-purpose Swiss Army knife hangar, and then I have my team camp match hangar. I'm just kidding. I don't mean to beat up on the mode. It's fun. Team deathmatch, it can be fun depending on what's going on. Uh-oh. So that's what's going on in this mode. You can see we're starting to fall behind here pretty good. But I'm going to start to level the scales here shortly, as soon as this guy with the Terran stops beating on me. So they're getting more points out of that beacon, and they're getting way ahead of us here. So this guy is totally ruining my camping. I am trying to just poach massive amounts of damage, and that guy was screwing it up when my buddy took him out. Or I did, I guess. So we're good to go. This is a nice little spot for shock trains, by the way. Guys peek their heads. Their pretty little heads come over the top of that little rise over there, and you just pop them off one at a time. So you can see here now we got a hold of another beacon. Sadly, as you can see, did not... I barely touched... I think I touched a beacon in the beginning of the game. Like, accidentally got under the beacon and helped capture it, but that is about all I did with regards to beacons. So you kind of want to be Johnny on the spot with the beacons. You want to support your team, because again, like I said, the more of your team that's on a beacon, the quicker you capture it, the faster you get points out of it. So trying to predict what the next beacon is going to be, I have no idea. I'm sure some wizards on the Facebooks or something have figured that out. I don't know. I assume the algorithm is random. You can see this beacon's going to light up, so I'm actually going to like kind of sit here and try to capture this thing. Really accidentally doing teamwork here, which I don't like to do teamwork. I normally like to just kind of do my own thing. If you guys watch my critical tactics videos, you know that all too well. But that is basically the gist of King of the Hill mode. You can see we're starting to come back here a little bit. They might be down a player or two. I am still supporting my team. Really, I'm keeping them in the game. I mean, if we're going to be honest about this thing. Oh, so there went my camper. And now I'm going to have to go get a real bot and play for reals. Pretty even score here. These games can take a little bit. You're going to play through pretty much all 10 minutes unless something crazy happens in the beginning. It's going to be a long game. Basically just dealing damage. Not even, you know, looking back at this. I played this game. I played this like a week ago or something. And it dawns on me now that I never really once paid attention to the beacons at all. This was, you know, to be fair, this was my first go on King of the Hill. And since I've seen a lot of guys ask questions, I've seen a lot of people, you know, kind of like, King of the Hill, like, you know, what the hell am I doing? Like, how do you play this mode? So this is how not to play it, unless you're just strictly going for damage. This is how not to help your team, you know, in a roundabout way, you know, unless you're me and your awesome team supporting skills here have basically saved the day. I mean, clearly, because you can see Reds are running out of teammates. They're running out of guys because I destroyed so many, which was part of my master plan all along. So they've got that beacon over there. They're draining it. I'm kind of thinking about going and getting it. Probably not. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll let them two fellows go get it. You know, because I got more important things to do, like soak up damage over here. Whereas you'll find out at the end of this game, like, doesn't really win you anything in this particular mode. That's a Redeemer, by the way. You guys probably all know that. It's not bad. It's not my favorite. The Ember is probably a little bit better than that thing, but it's not bad. If you get on there with some Max Terrans and you really get a hold of something squishy, it will eat them up pretty good. But it does seem to suffer occasionally from that same plasma misfire bug that I think we've had for like 9 years now, where plasma just seems to kind of float through the target instead of dealing damage sometimes. So you can see basically what happened here is we ended up botting these fellas out. So they are ahead on the bar, so we need to get over here and take this fella out. And of course I did what I always do on this one. This is what y'all always yell at me on my critical tactics videos where you're critiquing my gameplay. You're like, don't jump into their spawn. And you guys say it every week, but I just keep doing it because I'm just, you know, a knucklehead like that. Just hard-headed, my wife would say. Just thick. So they're down to 2 players. We are capturing the next active beacon. You can see it off there to the right. So we're getting points. So we should be starting to match what they have up on the bar there. You can see their bar is just a little bit ahead of ours. But I think what we're going to end up doing here is botting these guys, and that is a legitimate way to win. If you bot the other team, obviously you win. So I did not play this very intelligently, but what I'm hoping is that you learn from my silly, silly mistakes of not paying attention to the actual rules of the game. So here they are, they're botted, about 30 seconds left, and it's probably a good thing we did that, otherwise we were probably not going to win that match. Alright, on to the bad news. You can see the results screen here. You still make okay silver for pouring in all that damage, but that 1.3 million isn't as impressive as it normally would be because technically, by the strictest definition, I'm on the bottom of the leaderboard. So for that last one, just flip your phones upside down and just look at it that way, and you'll see I'm on top where I need to be. So here's what we covered. We talked about supply drops. We talked about Hanger X, King of the Hill. Talked about the event. The rest of the stuff on this list, I'm going to have some individual videos coming out. They're going to cover these things in a little more detail. Some of these weapons I don't have yet. Some of these bots I don't have. Some of them I do. And we're never going to cover the iPhone X screen because I don't even know what that means. So that is going to do it for this video. This is just a quick look, my thoughts on update 3.6, the Lunar New Year event. And appreciate y'all watching, liking, subscribing. Please do all those things. Click on the various buttons on my channel, look at other videos. All that stuff helps me bring you sweet, sweet content like you've seen in this video. So as always, I will see you next time at the Center Beacon.